First, I would like to welcome you all for good morning, a warm good morning, and have a good day to all of you. And thanks for, I would like to thank you all for showing interest to join our webinar. So I welcome you all on behalf of APA. Today, we are going to see about some upcoming advancements in RoHS compliance, especially on European EU RoHS compliance. So we can move on to the topic. I hope today you will gain some knowledge about RoHS and you will get a clear-cut idea about RoHS compliance, how it can be done. Moving to the topic. Today's webinar agendas are as follows. We are going to see about the background of RoHS, objectives and overview, and the restricted substance list, the substances which are present under the RoHS, and the scope and exemptions, its upcoming updates, as well as CE marking and the future. Finally, we can conclude the session. So before going to the topic, I would like to share you some informations. Everyone but the speakers are muted at this time. This meeting is currently being recorded and will be shared at the end of the session. And we will have a survey at the end of the session. Please, I ask all of you to please fill out this survey so that we can get your feedback and we can improve more in our upcoming webinars. So in addition to that, we also have a question and answer session at the end of our session. So there you can ask your question. Feel free to contact us. If time permits, we will answer it right away, or else we will write back to you in the email. So we are seeing about the speakers today. Today, the speakers are myself, Bhavit here. I'm a product compliance engineer and I'm traveling with APA for the past 1 year. And my colleague Sanjita, who is also a product compliance engineer. Today, we both are going to present you about this topic. Before moving to the topic, I would like to introduce APA to all of you. So as a company, we are 21 years old company. We have business across the globe in majorly in US region, Europe, and across Asia Pacific region. We are ISO 27001 and 10001 and TSEC certified company. We have more than 350 plus customers across the world. So as a company, we offer business in 4 sectors, namely compliance, engineering, sourcing, and software. In compliance, we deal with a lot of environmental regulations for several OEMs and tire companies. In engineering sector, we have customers on mechanical product development using the software such as CAD, CAM, and CS softwares. In sourcing, we source components, parts, and we ship across the world. And in software section, we have IT services, which we have developed compliance softwares and tools which will help the customers to do their compliance or regulation related projects. So in compliance, we are offering businesses on 3 categories. One is service, another compliance software, and the third one is turnkey. In services, the customer can select a task-based services or particular services which he need for his product. Whereas in compliance software, we have developed compliance software tools which the customer can purchase for his needs, and it can be used for their requirements. And in turnkey solution, this is a whole package which includes all the regulation work. So we will do all the regulation related work such as REACH, RoHS, conflict Prop 65, skip, everything. What are the regulations which are applying to that particular product for the customer? We will do all those regulations. Before moving on to the topic, I would like to ask everyone to fill out this poll. So thank you all for answering the poll. So now we are going to see about the topic. So first, we are going to discuss about the background and objectives and overview of RoHS. Regarding the background, so as electronic products become more and more common throughout the world in our daily use, a concern is also developed for this disposal of these electrical products. So this rise in production and usage of these electrical products has resulted in an increasing volume of electrical and electronic waste. So during this use, collection and treatment and disposal process of such waste products, waste electrical and electronic products, which may contain some harmful substances. This will release during the disposal and which will cause major environmental problem as well as health problems to the human beings. So a survey shows between 2004 to 2015, there are more than 300 millions of computer and other electronic waste which are disposed to our environment. So in order to address such challenges, EU came with a directive called RoHS Directive in 2002. This was originated in European Union in 2002 and which came into effect on July 1st, 2006. So all applicable triple in the sense electrical and electronic products in the EU market after July 1st, 2006 must pass this RoHS compliance. Before the manufacturer can sell this product to the market, he must pass this RoHS compliance. That's all about the background. Now we are going to see about the objectives of RoHS. The major objectives of RoHS is to prevent the risk which is posed to human health and environment related to the management of this electrical and electronic waste. In order to minimize the risk which is posed for human health, this RoHS directive was formulated. The second objective is to restrict the use of certain hazardous substances that are present in electrical and electronic products that can be substituted by the alternatives. So by restricting this use of some hazardous substance, we will this directive will promote the use of alternative substance which are much safer than the hazardous substance. So as a result of this, the waste electrical and electronic equipment becomes more easier and easier to recycle as well as less harmful to the environment and our human beings. So these are the objectives of RoHS. Now we are going to see about the overview about RoHS. So RoHS stands for Restriction of Hazardous Substances, which impacts only the entire electronic industry as well as the electrical products. This RoHS is officially known as the Directive 2002/95 EC. EC is nothing but European Commission, which is originated in European Union on 2002. It restricts the use of certain hazardous substances found in electrical and electronic products. So it is formulated, like a previous said, it is formulated in 2002 and came into effective on July 1, 2006. So all the products which is entering to market, EU market after July 2006 must pass this compliance. So after the first directive, European Commission again published a directive at 2011. This directive is officially called as Directive 2011/65 EU, which was published in 2011, which is also known as RoHS 2 or RoHS recast. This RoHS 2 includes CE marking directive. With this RoHS compliance now being required, the CE marking is compulsory for the products before they are going to the European market. This RoHS 2 also added categories 9 and 8 to the 8 and 9 to the additional category which we have previously. These two categories are added additionally when the RoHS 2 is implemented. RoHS 2 formulated in 2011, but it came into effective from Jan 2, 2013. Then after that, again a directive was published. It is officially called Directive 2015/863, which is also known as RoHS 3. This RoHS 3 includes 4 new restricted substances, which is phthalates, 4 phthalates to the 6. Already we have a list of 6 substances. With this advent of RoHS 3, it adds 4 phthalates. So currently we are having 10 substances in RoHS list or restricted substance list. This RoHS 3 came into effective from July 22, 2019. So this is about the basic overview of RoHS. Now we are going to see about the RoHS directive compliance obligation. Who all are need to comply this RoHS and how their role is what are their role in placing the product to the market. So first, manufacturers. This manufacturer must required to complete the declaration of confirmation and affix the CE marking logo to the product. So before selling his product to the market, he should need to carry out all these substances. All these duties have to be carried out by the manufacturers. So then moving to importers. So this importers must ensure the manufacturers is complying with the RoHS directive. If the manufacturer is non-compliant, then importer needs to take the corrective action. For example, the importer can elect not to place this product into the European market if the product is non-compliant. He can go back to the manufacturer and ask them to make this product compliant so that we can sell it in the European market. And also, this importer must maintain a separate register for non-compliant products so that can be tracked. So coming to distributors, this distributors should verify whether that electrical or electronic products are marked with the CE logo. The CE logo will be marked by the manufacturer, and this distributors have to check before selling this product whether this logo is marked or not. Then he should also need to verify or whether all the documents are included. Like importers, distributors should also ensure the compliance of the product before they sell into the market. These are the roles of distributor. Then coming to authorized representative. These are the representatives which are officially appointed by the European Commission. They need to fulfill the obligations laid by the European Commission. So they need not to maintain a technical file such as like manufacturers, but they should keep a conformity of declaration for the parts they are inspecting. And they should also provide documentation if the authorities requested for particular documentation for the products. So these are the obligation, RoHS compliance obligation for various roles like manufacturers, importers, and distributors, and the representatives roles. So now, next, we are going to see about the restricted substance list or RoHS substance list and the scope and exemption of RoHS. So, like I stated, currently we have 10 substances in our RoHS list. So which are as follows: lead, mercury, cadmium, hexavalent chromium, polybrominated biphenyls, polybrominated diphenyl ethers, phthalate, which is DHEP, and benzyl butyl phthalate, dibutyl phthalate, diisobutyl phthalate. So the threshold limit for all these substances 1000 ppm or 0.1 percentage, except for cadmium it's 100 ppm or 0.01 percentage. So you can see in the image, previously we have first 6 substances. With the advent of RoHS 3, 4 phthalates are added, and currently we are having 10 substances in our RoHS list. So then we can see about some what are the restricted substance list and its application and what are its health effects. So as you can see, lead is majorly used in solvers, batteries, electronic components, etc. And mercury is used in batteries, switches, thermostats. Cadmium used in electrical equipments, batteries, coating pigments. Hexavalent chromium majorly used for chrome plating, dyeing pigments, etc. And BPP used as a flame retardant in computer monitor and TV plastics. And PBD used as plastic enclosures. And DHEP used phthalates, DHEP, BBP, DBP, DABP. All these phthalates are mostly used to soften the PVC and also used as a vinyl insulation on electrical wires. So all these substances, majorly these all substances are a carcinogenic agent which causes cancer, which also have multiple which it will also have multiple effects in our human body, our organ system, our respiratory system, and our reproductive system. Even it causes liver toxicity, kidney damage, and other such problems if you are in continuous contact with these substances. So these are the substances and application and their health effect. So now we are going to see about the scope and non-scope product. In RoHS, we have some scope, which is known as impacted product entities, and non-scope or exempted categories. So first we can see about the scope. In scope, we have 11 categories. So in RoHS, we have 11 categories such as large household, small household appliances, commuting and communication equipments, consumer electronics, lighting equipments, power tools, toys, leisures, sports equipments, medical devices, monitoring and control equipments, automated dispensers, and category 11. So the examples for each categories are shown in the right side: refrigerator, vacuum cleaners, computers, TV printers, lamp, solder drills for power tools, toys, video games, etc., medical devices, and monitoring devices, thermostats, automated dispenser, vending machine, ATM machine, etc. So in addition to this 10 category, we also have a category called 11. This 11th category include all other products which are not included in the above 10 categories. So that's all about the categories, and you can see some of the examples of the product, which visual representation of the products which are available under different categories. So now we are moving to non-scope or exempted product categories. Generally, RoHS have some exemption. If this product is using for military-related purpose or space-related equipment or transportation other than two-wheeled or four-wheeled, it is for large transportation vehicles, public transportation vehicle, R&D equipments, non-road machineries, and large-scale fixed installations, large-scale industrial tools, photovoltaic panels, active medical implants, sub-equipments, batteries, compact fluorescent lights. These are all exempted from RoHS. These products, if the product is under these categories, they need not to be RoHS compliant. So, and also spare parts. This, if the spare parts for the equipments in the market before RoHS took place, if the the spare parts for the product is in the European market before the RoHS took place, that can also be accepted from RoHS. Which only this spare part exemption will apply only to the categories 1 to 10, not for 11. So that's all about the scope and not scope. And now we are going to see about the exemption. What are the exemptions present in RoHS? Before going to say about the exemption, I would like to say about the out of scope and the difference between out of scope and exemption. Generally, out of scope are the products of a product of a specific type or category that are allowed to be shipped into the European market without any restriction of the substance used for a specific period of time. But whereas the exemption, these are the products that meet the EU requirements for a specific exemption that can be shipped into EU market with a defined restricted limit for the substance used. Whereas these exemptions temporarily allow the restricted substance to be used in certain application until a suitable alternative is found. So these restriction substance can be used with a certain application, certain exemption based upon their set applications. Exemption can be considered for two regimes. The first criteria may be a threshold criteria. An exemption may be only granted if it does not weaken the environmental and human health. In such case, we can grant an exemption. Furthermore, this request of exemption is justifiable under the following conditions, such as substitution is scientifically or technically impracticable, which means the substitute for that particular substance is not yet discovered or not developed. In that case, we can use that restricted substance with some exemptions. And the second one, the reliability of the substitute is not ensured, which means we are having a substitute, but the substitute is not as efficient as the original substance, or it is not as reliable as the previous original substance. In such cases also, we can use that restricted substance with some exemptions. And the third one is negative impact on environmental and human health, which means the substitute is having more negative impact than its benefits. In such cases, we cannot encourage that substitution. In addition to that, we can use that restricted substance with some exemptions based upon their application. So for all exemption, they have a certain expiration date. Typically, this expiration date will be reviewed every 4 years once within the regulation. So within the directive, there are two annexes impacts this exemption. Annex 3 exemption impacts the categories from 1 to 11, and Annex 4 exemption impacts categories, particularly 8 and 9. So all these exemptions have a certain time period of expiry. Generally, for categories 1 to 7 and 10 and 11 have an expiration time for 5 years. And for category 8 and 9, the expiration time period is for 7 years. This validity period are to be decided based upon the case-by-case study, and this can be also renewed. So automatically, the exemption will expire after 5 or 7 years, unless and until it is renewed. So in the below website, you can see about the exemption list and its validity plan. All these attachments are available in the below website. If an exemption is going to expire, if we want to renew that, there will be a renewal form we can submit to the European Commission for renewal. So I would like to show you the list of exemptions. So these are the list of exemptions in which we have different substances such as mercury, lead, cadmium, etc. All these substances can be used under these exemptions based upon certain applications alone. This is an exemption list, and in that website you can also find this particular Excel sheet which shows what are the exemptions and what are its applicable categories, its start date, end date, renewal request date, and whether that exemption is valid, which means we can use it or not, or which is no longer valid. That all data will be available in this Excel. That particular website contains this Excel. These sheets are automatically updated. Means this website will update this data, and periodically this sheet will be updated. So for the renewal purpose, if we want to renew that exemption, if we are meeting that exemption expiry time period, if you want to renew it, means the particular concerned person need to submit this request form to European Commission. He must enter all these details, all the mentioned details for his product or for the substance he is using. After that, he need to submit this to the European Commission for renewal. It should be in-house before 18 months of that expiry time period. So that's how this exemption renewal works. So that's all about exemption. Now we can see some renewed exemptions. There are multiple renewed exemption. I'm showing you one or two examples. So we have an exemption number or exemption code 6A, which is lead in steel. In alloying element in steel, lead can be used up to 0.35%. General limit for lead is 0.1%, but in steel, it can be used up to 0.35% for all product categories from 1 to 11. This exemption code was expired. So we cannot use this particular exemption code throughout these categories. Instead of that, this got renewed as 6A1. So here that lead can be used particularly in 1 to 7 and 10 category. This exemption is valid. Still, they are requested for renewal. Still, it is valid. So we can use this exemption code. And the 6A exemption code is valid for 8th classification. It is valid till, 8th product category. It is valid till 2023, and 9th and 11th category. It is valid till 2024. Similarly, for 6B also, the lead in aluminum content, it can be used up to 0.4%. So generally it is for all the category which is expired in 2019. It is further renewed to 6B1, 6B2, which can be used for 1 to 7 and 10 categories, and 6B can be used for 8, or if it is using in 8 category, it can be used up to 2023, and in 9 and 11 category, it can be used up to 2024. So that's basic some of the examples for renewed exemption. So that's all about the exemptions. So now we are going to see about the upcoming updates which are going to happen in our EU RoHS. In addition to the 10 substances which are already in the European Union RoHS list, 2 new substances such as MCCP and TBA might be added to this list, which may be also known as RoHS 4. The European Commission is currently reviewing these two new substances, which is reported by the OCO Institute, which recommends this addition of 2 new substances. According to the study, these 2 new substances will become restricted in our latest restricted list, which is going to come in future. So namely, they suggest a limit for 0.1% per weight for each substance at a homogeneous material level. For TBPA, the restriction applies only if the TBP is used as an additive flame retardant. So further, we can see about what are MCCP and its uses and threats, as well as TBPA and its uses and threats. So first, MCCP. MCCP is nothing but medium chain chlorinated paraffins, which is hydrocarbon groups contain varying chain lengths of levels of chlorination. According to the study, these molecules have, according to the study of Ocker Institute, these molecules have with the carbon chains. These molecules have carbon chains between 14 to 17. As you can see, the molecular structure below, they have the carbon 14 to 17 carbon chains, and this Cas number is 855358559. So, despite of having this reference number, this MCCP are hard to categorize and isolate due to this differing composition. It is not a fixed stable common. It may be differ. So, due to that category, due to that property, it is hard to categorize. So seeing about the uses of MCP, this MCCP is mainly used as a plasticizers in PVC. In other words, they make the primary orthophthalates plasticizers more effectively by increasing the flexibility. So in order to increase this flexibility of PVC, these MCCPs are added. The sheathing and insulation of the cable relies basically on this property. So in few cases, sorry, in few cases, they can also be used as a flame retardants. They are also a good choice of coating and adhesive in polymers like PVC, rubber, and paints. MCCP is popular substance because of its safer alternative, because it is more safer alternative when comparing to SCCP. SCCP is short chain chlorinated paraffin. This SCCP is already present in our REACH SVC list as well as POP list, persistent organic pollutant list. They are managing these substances. So if you want your product to be POP compliant, then it should not contain both SCCP and MCCP. So that's all about the uses and where applications of this MCCP. And we can see about the concerns. Due to its toxic nature to the aquatic environment, as well as it is a bioaccumulative properties, this MCCP is a major threat for human beings as well as the environment. In addition to this, the workers in the waste disposal process put their health at risk first. For example, during the process of shedding of these cables, when this MCCP is released into air, the workers could, the possibility is that the workers could inhale that air. So on inhalation, it will cause the damages to the respiratory system, which will indeed cause death in some cases. So in the below two images show the uses where the MCCPs are used. So that's all about MCCP. And moving to TBPP, TBBA. TBBA stands for tetrabrominated bisphenol A with a molecular formula C15H12Br4O2. It has a Cas number 79947. This is nothing but a brominated version of rich SVC substance bisphenol A, which is majorly found in plastic bottles. In fact, under certain conditions, this TBBA can be decomposed into BPA. The molecular structure of this TBPA is shown below. We can see about the uses where this TBPA is used. TBPA is majorly found in printing wire boards. TBPA is majorly found in the printing wire boards in flame retardant epoxy resin. This molecule is reactant to the chemical formation of this resin. During polymerization, this TBPA forms a strong bond with the polymer, which makes it unlikely to be released from this polymer during the disposal. However, if this TBPP is used as a flame retardant in ABS brominated, it is used as a flame retardant. In such cases, it will weaken the bonds between the polymer and the TBPA, and therefore there is a high chance that this TBPA can be released from the polymer to the environment. So if the TBPA escapes from that polymer during waste disposal, it will pose a huge risk to the workers who are handling that, as well as it will cause damages to our respiratory system, as well as if it is being exposed to water bodies, it will also be toxic for aquatic animals and as well as its nature. So these are the two substances which we are expecting to be included in our EU RoHS regulation in the soon future. So to summarize this, we have two substances, MCCP and TBPA, and the concentration limit is generally 0.1%, and the usage is used as a plasticizers and flame retardant for MCCP, and it is used as an adhesive flame retardant for TBPA. And concerns, both are toxic to aquatic environment and also pose huge risk to human health during the waste disposal process. So if you are researching about the background, most of the recommendations or recommended substances by OQ Institute are being considered by the European Commission. So we are expecting that European Commission will also include these two new substances by this end of the year. So I hope we will have these substances as well. So if these substances are included, then currently we are having 10 substances. With the inclusion of these two, our RoHS list includes about 12 new substances as follows: lead, mercury, cadmium, chromium, hexavalent chromium, brominated biphenyls, etc. So all these threshold limits are generally 0.1%, except for cadmium is 0.01%, and Cas numbers are here. You can see them below. So that's all about the upcoming restricted substance list and the upcoming advancement in our EU RoHS. So moving on to the next topic, we are going to see about CE marking and the future of RoHS. In addition to that, a tool demo will be there, which is to be carried out by my colleague Sanjita. So I'd like to hand over the session to Sanjita.
Thanks for your wonderful presentation, Bhavit. Hello all, myself Sanjita. I'm going to tell about CE marking and future of RoHS. Following this, I will demonstrate about our tool. CE marking. The CE marking came into existence after the establishment of RoHS 2. The conformite European mark is defined as the European Union EU mandatory conformity marking for regulating these goods sold within the European Economic Area EEA. The CE marking represents a manufacturer's declaration that products comply with the EU's new approach directives. These directives not only apply to products within the EU but also for products that are manufactured in or designed to be sold in the EEA, which is European Economic Area. How does the CE mark work? A CE mark is a symbol that must be affixed to products before they can be sold on the European market. The market indicates that a product must fulfills the requirements of relevant European product directives and meets all the requirements of the relevant recognized European harmonized performance and safety standards, and is to be fit for its purposes and will not endanger lives or property. Affixing a CE mark to a product is considered a means to certify for authorities within the EU member states that the product meets all appropriate EU requirements. The importer or manufacturer must take steps to comply with safety provisions, produce the appropriate records, and decide on the necessary procedures to maintain production in conformity with directives. And this is the process of CE marking. First, we have to identify 3 I's, which are identify the applicable directives, identify the applicable requirements of the directives, and identifying an appropriate route to conformity. After this identification, we go for assessment of the product's conformity and compilation of the technical document. And finally, we are making a declaration and affix the CE mark. First of all, the products within scope of the RoHS 2 directive must display the CE mark, and all electrical and electronic equipment manufacturer must compile with RoHS 2 before the CE mark can be applied on their products. So there are some requirements of CE marking. They are declaration of conformity, technical files, and CE mark on products. Then future of RoHS. Along with the 2 new compounds, there is a possibility that the EU RoHS directive will eventually include several additional new substances in the next update. So some of these possible inclusions are beryllium, cobalt dichloride and cobalt sulfate, diantimony trioxide, indium phosphide, and nickel sulfate and nickel sulfamate. These substances are currently being assessed and may be included into EU RoHS directive in future. And RoHS enforcements. European Commission has published an enforcement guidance document, and enforcement authorities have also been appointed to do the investigations based on these following 7, which are market intelligence, random selection, products known to contain materials of high concern, short life products, consumer products unlikely to be recycled, and tips from external parties and tips from other member states. So far, the penalties will be imposed for non-compliance product if sold into EU without proper authorization, or if they have sold if illegally, and penalties may vary by country. And following this, I will give you a tool demonstration, which is an internal tool, green check. This green check is dealt with with different kinds of regulations that are REACH, RoHS, Prop 65, TSCA, BPR, EU battery, EU MDR, ADM, and then it also work on custom regulations if they have any. And this is the portal, customer portal, and this dashboard is consists of customer request, oral supplier level metric, and supply data collection, month-wise reports for the requested parts, and supply data validation and compliance report. And the customers can also customize this dashboard based on their needs. And then this is the customer portal, and this one is the supplier portal. So first I will give you a detailed explanation about customer portal, because we will initiate our work from this. Supplier master. This in the supplier master, we are going to upload the supplier details. So send an invitation. In this add tab, we can add an individual supplier list, and if we have a bulk data, then we can use this bulk upload. This has an individual template which we can download and we can make use of it. The supplier template is this one. We want to fill supplier name, supplier unique ID, contact name, and contact email, and all the other necessary details. After complete filling this, then we want to upload the template here. Then we can see the supplier details in this tab. Then this is the substance list tab. For this, for which regulation we are working, we can check for the substance which are updated according to the latest update. And then this is the BOM category. In this tab, we can upload a BOM. But whenever we are clicking this add BOM category, there is an unique request ID is generated for every new addition of BOM. Then we want to set a due date. Like for example, I am setting that 19th 11, and we have to select the division. And then here also there is an upload tab. In this tab there is an individual template for BOM. And then this is the BOM template. In this template, we have to fill all the mandatory fields like level, customer part number, supplier part number, part name, type, quantity, unit of measurement, and supplier code. After complete filling this one, then when we want to upload this complete filled BOM template here, and then we have to give submit button. Then we can get the BOM details here. Then this is the survey invitation tab. In this, we want to fill the customer details, we select the customer here, and then this is the supplier name. For example, I'm typing 1 and I'm choosing this one, and then for part number BOM, I'm choosing this one, and then this is the pending invitation, and we want to select the regulation. After this, we want to click this survey, view survey list. Yeah, for my specifications, there is a supplier name, so we want to click this, and then we want to initiate a mail here. This is the we want to write the mail content here. In this content, we want to include the supplier login details like user ID, password, and the link. And then the customer include CC, BCC, subject, etc. And then the customer send an invitation to the supplier. Now, in supplier point of view, by using our login credentials, then they can log into this, and then they can see this dashboard. In this dashboard, we are dealt with RoHS. So this is the pending survey, which means the customer has sent five invitation to the supplier, so they can see this. They can solve this by using this start survey. Yeah, this is the after clicking that start survey, then this is the 5 pending surveys which is visible in the supplier portal. Then by clicking this, we can start the supplier can start the declaration one. Then we want to then the supplier want to choose the RoHS declaration. There are meant to be 6 one. First one is product meets EU RoHS requirements without any exemption, and products does not meet EU RoHS requirements and is not under exemption, and product meets EU RoHS requirement by application of the selected exemptions, and product is absolute, no information is available, and product is unknown, no information is available, and product is not applicable under the regulation scope. Then the supplier must choose any one of these, and then the supplier should give the supplier declaration. There is a template for this. They have to fill this one according to their specifications, and then after complete filling this one, they have to upload the sample template here, and then give the declaration, and then they have to submit the declaration. Then that's all. After this one, uh, then after this one, we go for a customer tab. Yeah, in this there is a review in which we are going to validate the declaration which was submitted by the supplier. Yeah, this is the pending one. Then I am going to show you how to validate the pending one. By clicking this one, then this tool take to the validation area. Yeah, this one. This is the approval status. In this, we can approve, reject, or follow up the submitted suppliers declaration. So by seeing this RoHS declaration, whether this is satisfied, then we can give approve, and whether the status is compliance or not compliance, or if it is insufficient data or unknown or not applicable, then the customer choose any one of this, and then the response status COC is whether the declaration is attached or not. Then they have to choose yes or no, or out of these 5. Then they have to submit the declaration. So I mean, now the validation is complete, and then if it is submitted, then we are validating the supplier's request. Then Then there is a report tab whether we can download the declaration report, BOM report, bulk survey report, supply level metrics, supply data collection, supply data validation, compliance report, and month-wise report. We can download all these reports if they are in need. Then at conclusion, I'm like to tell about that this tool is very much helpful. In the main advantage is the time consumption is get reduced. So I think that I have done with tool demonstration. Now I will hand over this session to my colleague Bhavit.
So thank you, Sanjita. Thank you for your awesome explanation about our tool and as well as the topic. So I would like to carry on. So I hope my screen is visible for all of you. So we are going to conclude the session. So on conclusion, so RoHS regulation targeted mainly only for electrical and electronic equipments. Depending upon the country's needs, the covered product categories may differ. Our European RoHS is probably have the broader scope, which includes all the most household appliances, professional appliances, medical devices, tools, monitoring devices, etc. So depending upon the country's covered products, this category may differ. Generally, aerospace, military-related products, R&D products are out of scope. Battery obligations are also package requirements are also excluded from this RoHS. However, there might be specific regulations applied to that automotive equipments, batteries, packaging environments, compliance products, etc. So RoHS regulation mirrors not only Europe but all over the world. In such cases, Eurasian Economic Union, which is the Russian RoHS, we have United Arabs RoHS, Turkey RoHS, Californian RoHS, China RoHS, Taiwan RoHS. Similarly, we have various RoHS in different countries, which might not include all the substances under our European RoHS, but most of the substances are similar to the all other RoHS, and depending upon the country's restriction substances. So countries like Australia, Canada, Japan, USA, other than California and New Jersey, they do not have specific RoHS law or regulation for the declaration of these substances in the electrical products. However, this does not mean that there is no regulations applicable at all. We can there is no regulation applicable at all, and we can use any restricted substance in this part and in their product, and we can sell it to the market. It does not mean like that. They might those countries might also have specific regulation for these substances, and if we want to sell our product to that particular countries, we need to oblige to their regulations which they are following. So finally, why this RoHS compliance is important? This RoHS compliance is important because the restricted materials are hazardous to our environmental, which also pollute our landfills and our which is also dangerous to human being during the occupational exposure as well as manufacturing and recycling. So which are the companies affected by this RoHS directive, which means any business that are selling or distributing the applicable electronic products or sub-assemblies, components, cables directly to the Europe, or if it is selling to the sellers, resellers, distributors who are in turn selling it to the European market, if that product contains these restricted substances, then they all need to oblige this RoHS compliance. So since RoHS like regulation has spread for more countries in the world, this doesn't only apply to Europe but also for other countries based upon their requirements of substance. Then how this RoHS is tested? So this RoHS compliance can be tested by portable analyzers such as X-ray fluorescence, X-ray metal analyzers can be used for screening the presence or verification of restricted metal compounds present in the product. Detailed testing can be done by using gas chromatography or mass spectroscopy. With the advent of RoHS 3, the 4 new phthalates were added. We can test these phthalates by using certain chemical testers, which is needed at a certain level of these compounds, which are extracted from the solvents. So by certain chemical testers, we can find out whether these phthalates are present in our product, which are selling to Europe. So finally, to conclude, how API can support. We will get the request from a customer, and we will analyze the request, and we will collect the data from the suppliers, and we will compile the data, and we will analyze the data, and we will create a final report, and we will provide declaration to the customers. So that's all about the RoHS compliance regulation. So we are going to see about the softwares which API are having. So we have separate softwares for most of the regulations. For conflict minerals, we have a software called Autogen CM, and for IMDS, we have the software called MDS Express, which will be helpful for automatic creation. And for regulations such as ESG, REACH, RoHS, Prop 65, TASCA, BPR, etc., we can use the tool called GreenCheck. In addition to this regulation, this GreenCheck tool can be also customized based upon the customer specific regulation. So addition to that, we have also a tool for volatile organic chemical compliances. So these are the tools which are developed by APA and which are currently being purchased by the customers for their regulatory needs. So APA's capability. So APA have an expert compliance experience over 2 lakh hours. APA has separate software interface to manage the whole compliance activity. With the minimum input from the customers, we can generate a comprehensive compliance report for your product which is being delivered. We just need basic information such as BOM, product BOM, part numbers, product details, and necessary details from the customer, and we will analyze this data. We have a capability to customize this compliance requirement and compliance report according to the customer's need. And we have a dedicated team of compliance expert and a software team for answering all your queries related to this compliance. I'd like to say about an overview. So first, we will collect the customer input, what we need from the customer. We will get the BOM, supply details, and other specific details which are suiting to the customer needs. Then our activity, we will we will analyze those data, and we will compile that input to the API software. We will generate mails to our suppliers based upon this tool, from this tool, and we will gather the data. We will analyze the data, and we will validate the data. After that, we will generate the compliance report or declaration letter or whatever the customer, based upon the customer requirement. We will generate that data, and we will give the output to our customer. This is the process which we are currently carrying out. So that's all about today's session. So I would like to ask all of you to answer one more poll. So thank you all for making the poll. So like I said in the first itself, we will have an survey at the end of the session. You will be redirected to a page where we have raised a set of questions. We will please answer those questions and give us feedbacks, by the way, which will help us to improve our our upcoming webinars. So then we can go to Q&A session. So if anyone having any questions, please go ahead. We will answer those questions. So we have a question. I'd like to read that. So one of the attendees asked, can my distributor continue to sell the non-compliant product which are shipped to Europe before this RoHS took place? This is an interesting question, but for that answer is technically yes. If the product is on the European market prior to this RoHS enforcement, means that product can be sold into EU. But however, some membering states will not allow this product to their states if the product is non-compliant. So some of the distributors are also refusing to sell these products if it is non-compliant. So it is better to make your product compliant before selling to the European respective markets. So any other questions? Yeah, we have another question as well. So okay, this question is that all these substances mentioned in the RoHS list is also present in REACH list. Then what is the difference between REACH and RoHS? That's a good question indeed. So I would like to explain. So first, we need to know the difference between REACH and RoHS. So this RoHS, this is evaluated based on the homogeneous material level. But whereas in REACH, it is evaluated based on the article level or immediate component level. Then this RoHS bans the substances which are present only majorly in electrical and electronic products, within this directive, whereas this REACH applies to all the chemical products used. Okay, sorry, the difference between RoHS and REACH, even though the substance is present in REACH, this RoHS is only, REACH is for all chemicals, whereas RoHS is mainly for electrical and electronics products. So any other questions? Yeah, we have another question. Will the copy of slides recording be emailed? Sure, you will get the copy of these slides as well as this video session. It will be given to you via email. So I hope that's all questions about that. So we can wind up the session. So I thank you all for attending this webinar and giving your precious time to us. I hope this session would be a good session for you and you have gained some knowledge of RoHS. Please reach out to us in our email ID or our website. We are happy to support you. We can support you in all your complaints related queries and regulations. So thank you all. Thank you for this opportunity and have a nice day. Bye-bye.